Hi, welcome. I'm so glad that you clicked on this video and actually that you clicked on the email to open it up to see this video. I'm giddy. I'm so giddy about this invitation to join this virtual community that I'm building. This is something that I have been actually dreaming about for more than 5 years. It was 2019 that I had. In life we have sometimes these big ahas, these big epiphanies, and I had that happen in 2019 where I realized that I really want to bring people together that have gone through some really difficult things. That at that time it was more focused on suicide loss because that was the biggest loss that I'd been through. I lost both of my brothers to suicide, which you already know if you've opened this because you probably know a little bit about my story. But in 2019, I didn't realize that I was in for another big, huge transition. And that was helping to shepherd my parents through the final seasons of their days. And they both passed away in the fall of 2022. So when you think about it, in 2019, I had no idea what was in store for me. I didn't know that I was about to learn a whole lot more about this loss and grief process. I also lost many pets during that time. It was crazy. So we actually lost two really beloved cats that we had had for like 14 years. Another cat that we'd had for many years, that she was just such a special little cat. We lost a horse that had been alive for 30 years, Miss Porcelana. We gave up a property that we had dreamed of for intergenerational living with my parents because they both passed away. We didn't know that they were going to. Went through a major closure in our lives, this major transition, a big season, right, of loss. And I learned so much more about the grieving process during that period of time than I would actually ever wish on anybody. But what came out of that was this. What came out of that was my programming. What came out of that was the grief circle that I run here in my hometown that I love so much. What came out of that is the writing that I've been doing, the curriculum that I've been building, the book that I'm writing, the guidebook that I'm writing, the journal that I'm creating. Like it just gave me so much purpose and meaning. Now, that is pretty extreme, right? But it is my calling. And so I am here to invite you to participate as a founding member in this little community that I'm building. And what a founding member is it's somebody with early access, somebody that I trust, somebody that I know, and somebody that is willing to help me build it. If you can imagine Facebook with only you on it, or Instagram, or whatever social media platform you use, if you're the only one there, it gets pretty boring pretty quickly. So it requires people. Community requires more than one person. It requires people to come together, to help each other, to support each other, to witness each other, and to share and to grow and to learn. Because like it or not, we are all going to move through the process of grief in our lives. We already have. We just don't think about it as grief. All of the losses that we have encountered, from illness to divorce to loss of jobs to loss of friendships to one of the biggies is the loss of a dream or a hope that we had for our lives, the loss of our expectations that we had about our childhood. There's countless examples of things that we move through in our lifetime that include loss, and we don't grieve them. And we don't grieve them alone, let alone together. And that is what I want to do. I want to build this community in a way that is supportive, that is compassionate, that is a sweet, kind, loving space on the internet because don't we need that? Oh my gosh, don't we need that? So, your role as a founding member, what I would love is your participation. Get in there and post some things, read some things, comment on my posts, on other people's posts. There'll be little poll questions to just get you thinking. So, participating in that way. There's absolutely no pressure to participate, and yet I'm asking you to participate. And what I mean by no pressure, you don't have to divulge everything, especially because we're just getting started. Um, to your comfort level, absolutely. But I would love for you to give me some feedback on the platform, on the content, on, what you would need. What are some things that you would really enjoy having in there? I envision more things being added, like resources. We can share book ideas. We could have a book club. We can have a little corner of this platform where we can post our pictures of our loved ones that we've lost and share and tell a little bit about them. Tell a lot about them. So you get a sense of what this is. It follows a little curriculum that I've built. Everything that we do is in alignment with nature because I believe we have lost our way so much. We've lost our connection with nature. We've lost our connection with our true nature as human beings that live and die and love and lose. And we've lost our connection with one another. And even one step further than that, our focus for July actually is all about connecting and reconnecting. We've lost our connection with the larger cosmos, the big picture of our lives. And it can feel like our lives are somehow wrong sometimes. And I'm here to tell you that your life is right and it's not easy. And there are probably things that have happened in your world that you really wish would never have happened, but they did happen. And our job, our role as we become emerging elders, elders in the making is what I call us. As we become elders, no matter our age, that doesn't have anything to do with being an elderly person. It means that we have been through some things that have led to some wisdom in our lives. And as we move through these losses and we explore them in conjunction with nature, we learn to trust our lives again. And so everything that we do is going to be on a monthly theme. So, our monthly theme for July is connection, for example. We have a mantra that we use throughout the month. So, our mantra for this month is I belong, because all true connection leads to belonging. And what more do we want for our lives than to belong, right? That's what we're all searching for is a little corner of the world to belong to. So, you are welcome to join. It is absolutely free for you. So this is going to just go to a small number of people. Some of my closest, most intimate relationships that I have are invited. And the people that have been participating in my in-person grief circle, you are all invited. Even if you've only come to one or you've just expressed interest, I really want this to be available to you. It's not in place of the in-person grief circle. It is definitely going to be a supplement for that. But we will be doing some things together. Like we'll have a live gathering every month where we'll come together and I'll do a little teaching on the theme and we'll explore the mantra and then we'll just have conversations. And then every week we'll have a little bit different focus on the topic on that theme. So we'll break it down into week 1, 2, 3, and 4. We'll have ritual, we'll have some mind, body, spirit, grief tending practices that are all designed to help integrate our losses into our lives, to really process through, and most of all, and most importantly, to be with this grief and to begin, even if it's just a little bit at a time, begin to find some meaning behind it. This isn't about fixing or solving. Grief and loss is not a problem to be solved. It's something that we are meant to move through, and we're meant to allow it to move through us so that we can live our lives as fully as possible. If we're denying this very important part of our life, which is grief, and honoring the losses of our lives, we're also denying ourselves the full capacity to experience joy and bliss. That is a topic for next month, actually. So, hint, hint, wink, wink. Um, Free to join for the life of your membership. So I'm calling it a mentorship because I found that, like, I love to use the word guide instead of expert. We're all in this together. I'm the one that's bringing everybody together. I want to introduce you all to one another. I am not the expert here. I am the guide that is bringing everything and everyone together so that we can move through big and small transitions together and honor the losses associated with all of it. So that is where I'll end this little video. I just want you to know that should you take me up on this offer, I will do everything to make your experience as good as it possibly can. And it's going to take some time. My big warning around this is it takes people, like I said, it takes people to build a community. So it'll be a little bit sparse in the platform right now. There's not a whole lot in there. When you get in there, you will see that there is a start here section, there's a welcome section, there's a little bit about the community circle. The community circle is kind of that main place that we'll share and respond to people's posts and things like that. And then you'll also see that there is a section for July already. I haven't created videos. I'm getting there, but it's just going to take time. So please be patient, join as you can, and just know that I really value you as a founding member, and I will do everything in my power to make it a good experience for you. Okay? If you have any questions whatsoever, please just respond to this email. The main thing I want you to know is that this is a risk-free thing, let's just give it a try. And I am hoping to launch to other people this fall, once we get it to a point where we really like it. And I want this to be a we thing. I don't want it to be a me thing. This is about community at its heart. And so I am just so excited to potentially have you join. All right. With that, I will leave you for now. And yeah, many, many, many blessings to you. I hope you are doing really well. And that is where I'll leave this.